if you're unfamiliar with Sia Kolisi, he is the captain of the South Africa rugby team and the first black man to lead the Springboks. He's an incredibly astute and impressive leader who I greatly admire. And in his autobiography, Sia outlines his leadership principles using the framework SPRINGBOK, which is a fantastic opportunity to learn from him. So first, let me share Sia's leadership insights in his own words, and then I'll share my thoughts and takeaways off the back of that. I realized that I had to look after my own performance first and foremost. Being captain often involves looking outside yourself and considering the needs of other people. But sometimes you need to be selfish. You need to learn to say no, which I always found easier said than done. A captain has to be upbeat. Teams take their emotional cues from the leaders, and both positivity and negativity radiate downwards and outwards very fast. Being positive is about always seeing room for improvement and setting standards rather than limits. Every leader must take the rough with the smooth, because there will inevitably be as much the former as the latter, and usually much more. Resilience is not freedom from or absence of failure, pain, or distress. It's experiencing those things and going through them to the other side. I believe in shared leadership. There are some guys who know stuff that I don't know, who are better at some stuff than me. So, where I can, I let these guys take control in order that we can all grow as people, and everybody has a voice in the team, which is amazing. There are many different ways to exercise leadership on and off the rugby pitch, and each person must do what comes naturally to them. This is advice for life and not just for leadership, but be yourself. If you're not, sooner or later you'll get found out, and people won't respect frauds. I have to be myself. I just do what I can on and off the field, lead by example, never ask anyone to do something I wouldn't do, and so on. A leader needs to be brave in 3 areas: physically, mentally, and emotionally. Male environments in particular can be deliberately unemotional. Guys aren't traditionally good at expressing their feelings. But the stuff we shared about ourselves, our lives, our hopes and fears on the way to the World Cup really helped the team environment. Noun. You can't lead if you don't know where you're going and how you're getting there. Adjective. The ability to assess things as unbiasedly and dispassionately as possible is also critical. A good leader will take a step back now and then and ask themselves, is this all as good as it can be? Within reason, a leader can never have too much knowledge. The more information you have, the better your decisions can be. I'd love to hear what stood out to you from Sia's model, so let me know in the comments. But now, let me share some of my thoughts and takeaways from the SPRINGBOK framework. And first, there was 2 words, 2 of the themes that I really appreciated, that I really wanted to highlight. So the first of those is the word self, right at the beginning. And here, Sia gives us a fantastic reminder that a burnt-out leader is a useless leader. And absolutely, as leaders, our job is to look outwards from ourselves, look at others and our teams and our organizations, but we also need to remember to look after ourselves as well, to take that time to look at our own performance and our own well-being. So that was the first thing under the word self. But another thing that I believe is a foundational element to leadership is that leading also starts with ourselves. We need to know how we show up, how we react and respond to different situations, different emotions, different challenges, because the better we know ourselves, the better we can serve others. Now, the second word, again, that I just wanted to highlight was the word genuine. And here, Sia writes, just be yourself. And I know how tricky it can be to have that confidence to really show up as ourselves, but definitely imploring or encouraging this word genuine of being authentic, being ourselves in our leadership. That is how we can be the best leaders possible. Now, the next thought I just want to share with you is actually one of the letters that I would have shifted if I was in Sia Kolisi's shoes, and that's the letter N there. And Sia uses the word natural, which is fantastic. As a leader, do what's natural to you, to your strengths. But for me, that could fit under the word genuine, as we were just speaking about. So the word that I would have included instead is nurturing. And nurturing in the sense of relationships, nurturing deep relationships. And I think Sia does this fantastically in real life. I saw it when he was in his acceptance speech in the 2019 World Cup. And you could tell that he knew the stories, he knew all of the people that were on his team, and not just the team members, but the coaching staff, the wider community of the Springboks as well. And I think as leaders, that's what we need to have as well. Cultivating, nurturing those deep relationships, and empowering our teams as well. Fantastic. So on to the last thing I just wanted to share with you is around that one, positivity. And that speaks to emotional intelligence for me. And Sia, he writes how quickly emotions spread downwards and outwards. And I'm just interested, curious to continue researching how to manage our emotions, work with our emotions in those high pressure situations in professional sports, but other high pressure situations, and how to keep that collective emotions calm, equilibrium, more positive, as Sia writes in here as well. So that's one that I'm just going to continue researching, a thought that was passing through my head to take away from myself. But if you want to continue learning about leadership, then I got a video for you here, which is around being authentic, yet revealing with discernment. It's about being ourselves with skill and the 3R framework.